Justin Baldoni's legal team has now released footage from the movie It Ends With Us. This is raw, uncut footage that honestly does not make Blake look the best, because how she described this scene being shot in her complaint is very different from how it seems to be playing out. And a lot of people have a lot of things to say in reaction to this clip being released to the public. Okay, let's talk about the timeline of events leading up to this moment that Justin now feels clears his name from the original Blake Lively complaint. On December 20th, 2024, Blake Lively filed a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department against Justin Baldoni, producer Jamie Heath, and their production company Wayfarer. She alleged harassment and a hostile work environment during the film's production. She claimed that Justin exhibited disturbing and unprofessional behavior on set, leading to significant emotional distress. Her complaint was published in the New York Times along with an article they wrote reporting on the situation. On December 21st, 2024, following Blake's complaint, talent agency WME dropped Justin as a client. Author Colleen Hoover, whose novel inspired the film, publicly supported Blake. Other cast members also began to publicly support Blake and encourage them to read the complaint in the New York Times. And the actors union SAG-AFTRA also expressed support for Blake, commending her courage in speaking out. On December 31st, 2024, Justin filed a $250 million libel lawsuit against the New York Times, accusing the publication of defamation in its reporting on Blake's allegations. Justin claimed the newspaper relied on a self-serving narrative and ignored evidence disputing Blake's claims. On January 16th of this year, Justin escalated the legal battle by filing a $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist Leslie Sloan. The suit filed in New York alleges defamation, civil extortion, and invasion of privacy. Justin contends that Blake and her associates engaged in a coordinated effort to tarnish his reputation and derail his career. Since the lawsuit against Blake was reported, her legal team has since come out to address the situation. In a statement to InStyle, Lively's legal team said, "This is an age-old story. A woman speaks up with concrete evidence of harassment and retaliation and the attempts to turn the tables on the victim." The team cited DARVO, an acronym used to describe diversionary tactics often used by deny, attack, reverse, victim, offender. Wayfarer has opted to use the resources of its billionaire co-founder to issue media statements, launch meritless lawsuits, and threaten litigation to overwhelm the public's ability to understand that what they are doing is retaliation against harassment allegations. The statement went on. They are trying to shift the narrative to Miss Lively by falsely claiming that she seized creative control and alienated the cast from Mr. Baldoni. But now, on January 21st of this year, Justin's legal team has made uncut footage from the set of the movie It Ends With Us available to the public, and they believe this footage clears Justin's name from one of the claims made against him by Blake in her complaint against him. In Blake's complaint, it said, "On another occasion, Mr. Baldoni and Miss Lively were filming a slow dance scene for a montage in which no sound was recorded. Mr. Baldoni chose to let the camera roll and have them perform the scene, but did not act in character as Ryle. Instead, he spoke to Miss Lively out of character as himself. At one point, he leaned forward and slowly dragged his lips from her ear and down her neck as he said, 'It smells so good.' None of this was remotely in character or based on any dialogue in the script, and nothing needed to be said because, again, there was no sound. Mr. Baldoni was caressing Miss Lively with his mouth in a way that had nothing to do with their roles. When Miss Lively later objected to this behavior, Mr. Baldoni's response was, 'I'm not even attracted to you.'" Of course, when reading this, you're thinking, oh my gosh, ick, like, he is weird, unprofessional, why is he doing that? That would make anyone uncomfortable. But Justin claimed in his lawsuit against Blake, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist Leslie Sloan that this is not how it went down at all, and he has footage to prove it. In his complaint, it said, Lively's later complaint sheds light on what this point was alluding to in this demand, which at the time was baffling and upon review of the filmed evidence is unequivocally based on a lie. Production was filming a romance montage of Lily and Ryle on their date. One of the producers played music to set the mood so the characters could slow dance. Lively, consistently unable to take direction, insisted she really liked the idea of the characters constantly talking because, As she described, she and her husband like to keep talking and talking and talking. Baldoni, her director, and the film's assistant director, who was directing the scene, disagreed. In an attempt to encourage her to take his direction, Baldoni offered up that he and his wife often just look into each other's eyes silently, to which she responded, like sociopaths, and laughed. Baldoni laughed and shook it off while Lively once again started talking about how she and her husband can't not talk. Baldoni said, "I think that's cute," and complimented the couple, to which Lively responded, "I think it's more than cute." Lively continued arguing and tried to direct him for the scene. While they were supposed to be in character filming the scene, at some point, Heath and another producer, irritated, called Baldoni aside to express they can't capture the intended shot because Lively wouldn't stop talking. He was instructed to somehow get her to stop. While there was a brief verbal exchange, heeding the instruction of their assistant director and producers, continued to try to bring them back into character. As they were acting in this montage scene, Lively continued to break character and speak as herself rather than as Lily, which was extremely confusing for Baldoni, who was trying to balance directing the scene with his artistic vision, while also acting in character, while filming and trying to get Lively to do the same. Lively apologized for the smell of her spray tan and body makeup. Baldoni responded, "It smells good," and continued acting, slow dancing as he believed his character would with his partner, which requires some amount of physical touching. Lively took them out of character again and began to joke about Baldoni's nose, which he laughed off and joked in turn, even as Lively joked that he could get plastic surgery. Lively incorrectly alleges that this scene was filmed without sound. Baldoni was wearing a microphone and the entire exchange is captured on camera. Any suggestion that this scene was filmed in any manner other than pure professionalism by Baldoni is unequivocally countered with actual evidence. Her allegation of harassment is a documented and knowingly fabricated lie. The footage from this scene has now come out where we in fact do see throughout this 9-minute long clip of footage, Blake say multiple times that she thinks they should be talking to each other, and Justin doesn't seem as down, but when they are talking, it's cracking jokes and talking about talking to each other in the scene, and not like he's flirting with her out of character because he's some unprofessional weirdo. It doesn't seem that way at all.
We have no issue talking most of the time.
Yeah, you're like, what?
I'll never know. It's not my You're never going to find out.
Oh my gosh, we don't shut up.
And Emily and I have we have these moments where
Staring. You just stare.
We've done it for 5 minutes. it's like, I think you would find it terrifying. We just literally do each other and time.
I'm a sociopath.
And time stops.
Yeah.
But that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
No, we're like, oh my god, there's
And they score again.
yeah. I don't know. It's like, oh my god, I forgot to tell you something else.
Oh, I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute.
They won the Stanley Cup.
And then we see the scene that Blake described in her complaint where he says it smells so good, which it seems like he only said this because she said she was probably getting body tan on him, and in response, he says it smells good, as to say, it's okay, it's fine.
I'm getting beard on you today.
I'm probably getting
It smells good.
Well, it's not bad. It's my body makeup.
And they win. They won.
All right, cut. We got plenty.
Yes.
Slow motion. It's going to be a 17-minute reel.
In this clip, we also see them joke about Justin's nose, which he wrote about in his complaint.
I feel so nosy.
I know. And my nose is so big.
I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. We gotta call an insurance month and just deal with that.
Yeah.
And then,
Cut.
just kidding.
And we also see a situation where she is telling him the light is behind him and they aren't on their marks, and he is saying it looks better, and this was at the beginning of the clip, so maybe him not saying to her, "Oh my God, you're right, we aren't on our marks, thank you so much, it does look better with the light in front," would have made her feel validated and right. And I don't know, maybe she wouldn't have felt so off about the whole scene, but maybe she felt shut down and then the whole scene was uncomfortable for her, but certainly not in the way that she was describing in her complaint, I'll say that.
Is this on the mark?
It's fine.
Oh.
You never I'll make you so sure about it.
The thing about this footage and her complaint is that people will certainly see this and call her a liar or an over-exaggerator, and they have been doing that since this footage has been out and circulating around the internet. And of course, this has people really just not believing anything happened to her on the set of this film, and I'm very much a person who wants to believe people when they say something happened to them, especially the claims she was making. But footage like this and what she said happened in the complaint make her look very bad, and it's disappointing because it's things like this that happen that have people second guessing victims, and it makes it even harder for people to be believed when something actually happens to them. And it is very much possible that Blake was uncomfortable on this set, and maybe it was the case that she wanted them to talk in the scene because she didn't want to be romantically intimate with him in this scene like they were supposed to be. But the problem is we just only know what we know and what she wrote in her complaint and the footage, and they don't really align. The situations do not align. And because of that, people are going to look at her and they're not going to believe the rest of the complaint. And that's the problem here. Because unfortunately, this footage, at least in Justin's legal team's eyes, completely tarnishes her word. And I don't want to be saying that because I don't want to believe that people would actually say something happened when it didn't, because like I said, it really hurts those with real stories and real experiences. But unfortunately, this situation, it's not looking very good. And in reporting on this situation over the last month, I was truly disturbed reading what was in Blake's complaint about Justin. Truly, it sounded like an awful experience on set. And yes, she promoted the movie disrespectfully, but I was still willing to believe two things could be true at the same time, that yes, she could have promoted it bad, but also very real things could have happened to her on set. But now it is a hard sell with this footage, and I never try to sway an opinion in one direction, but this footage clearly does not show what she described, and that is just the truth. Whether she was uncomfortable and didn't want to kiss him in the scene, and that's why she preferred talking, we just don't know what the heck the truth is there. We just know that he wasn't creepily saying that she smelled good in some out of character, uncalled for way, and that she was the one that did want to talk in the scene that did not require talking. So that is the latest in this whole Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively lawsuit situation. Literally every single week there seems to be a new update to this story, or multiple, because there is just so much surrounding this. I will keep you guys updated as usual with this story, but I certainly want to know what you guys are thinking about this newly released video footage. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.